Hey, this is Patty Negri, and you are listening to the Paranormal Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Hey, Mike, do kids creep you out?
Well, if I see a little kid that is running at me really fast with a large knife, yes, it's going to creep the shit out of me.
I would hope so.
No, kids do not in general creep me out. I love kids. I love everybody. I love old people. I love dogs, and cats, and fish, and
You love lamb?
birds. I love lamb. Yes. Oh, kids.
Do you love skull chewing tobacco?
Ew, no. I did, however, in my post-graduation years, shortly after, I was chewing Red Man for a little while.
Oh man, really?
I did.
You had the dip in your bottom lip, huh?
Oh, it was that big old leafy stuff, and
Oh yeah.
I rather enjoyed it, but then I thought, this is stupid. It was just a punk look. Look at me, I can be an adult when I really was.
Sure.
I was pseudo adult at the time.
Pseudo adult. Yeah.
Yes.
It was just kind of a gross way to give yourself mouth cancer.
Yeah,
right?
But there was some fairly decent flavored stuff. But
yeah, I bet. One thing that always just disgusted the hell out of me, always. And throughout the years, I've had some friends who partook in such things, and I'd find their evidence that they were chewing tobacco specialists, the frickin' spit jars with their crap.
Yeah.
That was just, bleh, out of their mouth into this flippin' disgusting bottle or wherever the hell it is. Oh my gosh, I'm getting the heebie-jeebies even thinking about it. But I guess you got to put it somewhere, so why not? But,
yeah, and then there's people that don't even spit it out.
Oh,
heard, and then but spitting it out like that, it's as nasty as those farmer blows. Have you ever heard of that?
Okay, I'm totally ignorant when it comes to that. Please explain what a farmer blow is.
Well, I'm a Nodak, and
yes.
Well, they put their finger on one side of their nose and they just
okay,
out the other nostril, and whatever's up there just goes flying.
Goes flying out. Okay, well, that makes sense.
All right,
I gotcha.
Okay,
do you remember the old classic SNL, the original cast, right?
Oh well, that's what I started on,
and I'm a big fan of SNL. Big fan of the originals, big fan of the majority of the cast throughout the years. But there's a couple of flippin' sketches that, actually more than a couple, quite a few. But the two I'll mention literally make me feel like I'm going to throw up a little bit in my mouth when I watch them. The first one is from an original, and it's not even close to how this fairly recent one makes me feel. And we're going to get to the subject, by the way, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to the Paranormal Zone podcast.
We have
our weekly dose of all things paranormal, strange, and mysterious. Our
pre-episode ramble.
We do have our pre-episode. Yes, our preamble, so to speak.
Yeah, preamble.
But there's a sketch where Dan Aykroyd plays like this super old man who's like on the verge of death, and he has that spittle bucket hanging from the side of his face.
Yeah.
It looks like he has this wire contraption around his head and this little tiny tin bucket that's dangling right by his chin. because he's just drooling so much. It's just his drool bucket. And then at one point in the sketch, he's like approaching somebody and he has the shake so bad. He's going, and the spittle just starts jumping out of the bucket, just splurting on everybody. And it's like, so that's one of them that makes me vomit or want to vomit, but not nearly as much as this one. This is from an episode. I guarantee you probably haven't seen it. This is from a decade or so ago. It's from a terrific cast. Some of my favorite years of SNL. Bill Hader and such. Just terrific. Jason Sudeikis, Will Forte, and all that good stuff. Anyways, long story short, Mike, there's a sketch where a gentleman boss is talking to two of his employees, and the boss has a bowl of chips in front of him. It's just whatever, like big giant tortilla chips. Do you know where have you seen this?
I believe so, but go ahead.
I don't even want to finish it. I'm getting like vomitous
feelings. It isn't the one where he's like feeding this guy like a bird with the spitting into his mouth, is it?
Yeah. Well, oh man.
Yeah.
It just oh my god. It's just, I'm seriously like I'm almost gagging thinking about it. And
yeah, that could make.
I want to say
that door.
I want to say it's Jason Sudeikis who because the boss disappears and one of those guys steals one of his chips. And then when the boss comes back, he knows that one of his chips is missing, and he demands that they return it. And he's like, "Well, I just ate it," and so he basically like vomits it up, and just spittles out. Oh God! Okay, I gotta stop. Sorry, boys and girls, but yeah, I'm telling you, there's some interesting ways to give me the heebie-jeebies out there. But
I remember. I mean. I remember when I first saw, I saw it live and it's nothing compared to today's standards, but the Bass-O-Matic really was quite interesting.
Yes. Oh man. Well, that was a real bass. It was a real fish.
Yeah. And boy, you couldn't tell it was a fish after they were done with it.
No. I love when they show the commercial clips too, and they take a sip and like, that's great bass. It's like, no. Anyways.
Fun times.
And that's all we got for this episode, boys and girls. Thanks for tuning in. No.
Get on with it. I got to say that every time.
Yes, you do. Of course. If you are new to the program, this is your weekly dose of all things, you guessed it, paranormal, strange, and mysterious. This is the Paranormally Zone podcast. My name is Patrick, and I'm joined as always by my co-host with the ghosts.
Me,
him. Yes. The paranormal poster boy. Oh boy, Mr. Michael Pre-Op Carb. No, that's right. You went in for not major surgery yet, but that's coming up soon, and I'm glad everything went well for you. So
they're going to cut my throat.
And this is no joke. No, this is no joke, by the way, boys and girls. I'm sorry, I'm talking over you, Mike.
Oh no, I'm talking over you. As long as I stay away from my carotid artery, I'm fine.
Yes, I know. This could be Mike's final episode, is what I'm saying, right? No, I can't.
No, it's going to turn out great, and I'm going to come back, and it's going to be awesome.
His voice might sound slightly different. He might come in sounding like Jerry Lewis or something. I'm not sure, but
lady. No, they're removing two vertebrae, and they're fusing everything from above and below that, I guess.
Yeah.
In my neck. But it'll be fun. I'm going to enjoy I'm going to enjoy the anesthetic. I'm going to enjoy that nice sleep time. I'm hoping for a good NDE during this whole thing. But nice. You never know. And if I
never know,
I'll let you know.
I'm hoping for a near-death experience.
I want to do some visiting around the universe. I don't know.
Oh man, think of the astral projection you may be able to participate in, Mike, while you are under the knife, so to speak. Good podcast fodder.
Yes.
So that's dedication, boys and girls. Little known fact: Mike does not need neck surgery. He's just doing this for the podcast.
Yeah.
Just for the tiny chance he might pass away, only to be resurrected.
No. It's going to all turn out great. I'm very positive about the whole thing. And then next year, hopefully, they're going to do the bottom part of my back. But that's neither here nor there. So let's get on with it.
Or just his bottom part in general.
My bottom. Yes. I need a sphincter removal.
Okay, all right, boys and girls. Yeah, as mentioned, almost 10 minutes ago now, we do have a good topic, and we're going to be diving into it right now after our brief Ghost Gab segment. But the Ghost Gab segment is going to be, well, hell, a perfect segue into the topic at hand. Yeah, we're talking about the notion, the belief, the theory that children, the wee tykes of
the wee
little
ones.
children, the wee ones of
Not
this.
not the little people, but the wee young ones.
The wee young ones, yes. Not the wee folk, right? The wee
Right.
young lasses and lads throughout the world in this physical realm that we are residing upon. We're talking about the notion that they, undaunted by the I guess negative impact a lot of times of growing up, of having your mind clouded, maybe perhaps being pushed forth certain directions that an otherwise open, clean, innocent mind would not go.
The door shut on their minds by very insensitive adults.
Yeah, or any number of ways. It's just about that clear conscious. And that, I don't want to say fanciful mind, but the mind that truly is like, anything is possible out there, right?
Exactly.
They're not bogged down by logic. I know that sounds kind of silly, but that's sometimes I think logic comes back to kick you in the butt. That kind of doesn't allow you to truly enjoy certain aspects of life that perhaps you may otherwise do so, or perhaps like me, it kind of dampens your potential paranormal experiences. So.
Well, you never saw Mr. Spock having fun and telling jokes on Star Trek.
Hell no! What a dry sense of humor that guy had. My lord.
He did once in a while show a little bit of emotion in his different times. It was interesting.
Oh, sure, that was interesting. And Mike is just opening up his your 7th Diet Coke. Is it a Diet Coke today, or?
It is. It
nice.
is. Well, I just finished one, and this is will last me throughout the rest of the show, I hope.
There you go. Nice. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. We've talked about this several times throughout the years, Mike. If you are new to the program, we've been around a while. We're old farts.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the paranormal for well over a decade now, and we've had the absolute honor of speaking with just a load of paranormal celebrities throughout the years. And that's no joke.
Celebrity.
If anything has ever come out of this podcast, Mike, it's the fact that we've had the opportunity to talk with so many people in the paranormal realm that we otherwise would have not had any chance of talking with.
Absolutely.
So for that, we're very, very thankful. So we've been inundated with lots and lots of theories and intellectual inputs from so many different perspectives, and we've talked about this idea of children, seeing ghosts, whereas opposed to us adults, we just don't have that ability anymore. So we're going to go down that paranormal pathway today and see where the conversation leads us. Sound good, Mike?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Is it perfect? See. That sounds a little strong.
Nothing's really perfect, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's on the path to being quite good.
It's on.
Yeah.
It's okay, sure. The slight potential of it being vaguely interesting has appeared. Okay.
Yes.
Well, the reason that we chose this topic was because I had another interesting experience at work the other day at the school.
And this is not the first time, is it?
No, and this is a different student.
That's exactly
altogether.
I was going to ask that as well. Yeah.
Without giving away too many details, I've worked in education now for the last 2.5, going on 3 years. Yes, I am an educator. I know I'm probably getting snarky jokes out there going, "Oh God, no wonder the Earth's falling apart."
Yeah,
people like that out there. No,
I suppose he thinks he doesn't get paid enough.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's
hey, you know what? That's a whole other freaking path we could go down.
Yeah.
But I was working with this student, 2nd grader, one-on-one, working on some math. And she is one of the special education students at the school. just super sweet little girl, and
what
very
age
bright.
range are we?
Very bright.
Here?
Second grade.
Okay.
But gee, thanks for listening. I just said that like 30 seconds ago. So
well, my ears, they pop on and they pop off. So
yeah. Oh, it's okay. I get you. I get it.
Pop on, pop off,
the popper.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think everyone's tuned out by now anyway. So it's
I
okay.
know.
So just working with math one-on-one with this scholar, this student. And, it's hard to keep her focused, which, hey, whatever, it happens. Her conversations kind of go any which way, and her focus definitely wanders, eyesight-wise as well, kind of looking around and all that. But we're sitting in the hallway. It's just her and I. And in between problems, she, just out of nowhere, she looks at me, and she says, "This school has ghosts in it."
Oh, I would have gotten so excited to have that said to me from a child, and go ahead.
I mean, just out of nowhere. I mean, we're doing math. There was no impetus for that to appear.
Good use of the word impetus, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Makes it sound like you cannot have children.
That too. So I wonder what would be the impetus for someone's impotence. See, hey, I did. You see what I did right there?
Mm-hmm.
So and I was like, okay, at first I was kind of, because I'm a professional. I'm doing work and I'm helping with their education. You can't really dive into stuff like that, just willy nilly and just take the focus all off of the task at hand.
Being the wonderful teacher that you are.
Well, thank you so much. So I just kind of let it slide at first, and I'm pulling this off the top of my head again because this just happened yesterday, and it's like I said, I kind of let it slide and tried to get her refocused on the math again.
And it's killing you the whole time.
Yes, because I want to ask her. I want to dive into it. I want to say, okay, let's go outside and let's get away from everybody. Well, not yesterday. Yesterday was frigid cold. It was like 40 below wind chill with the wind gusts yesterday. Started trying to work on those problems again. And she brings that up again. And she also says that she goes, I thought this was cute. She's like, I have magical powers, but no one knows about them. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, that was cute.
So you were failing to redirect.
I was failing to redirect. I was struggling to redirect her for sure.
Right.
And then she mentioned that her and another classmate of her, they're like going, no, it's haunted. The school's haunted because like around the corner, the bathroom's over there. We heard them flushing on their own. And I'm like, okay, well, weird stuff like that happens anyways. And I'm trying to redirect her again, and it's like, that's not necessarily anything, maybe it's just something odd that happens.
And at the same time, you're thinking, oh, that happens in hauntings. That happens in hauntings.
And then, Mike, she decides she's sitting on my right. We're sitting on a bench in the hallway. I'm looking towards her, towards my right. She's looking at me. And then she leans over like this. Leans over, looking past my left shoulder. And then she says, "There's one right there." And I'm like, okay. So I had to start asking about this. I'm like, okay. And I look and I'm like, I ask her what she's talking about. She says, "There's a ghost right by that door." It's like, oh, okay, really interesting. I asked her, well, I had to ask her questions now.
Yeah.
It's like, what does he look like? And she's like, well, he's tall. She said he was tall at first. It's like, yeah, there's a tall one standing right there. He's just looking at us. That's what she said. She said, he's just standing there looking at us. So, oh, okay. And then at the same time, she goes, there's also one behind me. And she leaned up against the wall behind her and she like tapped the wall. She said, there's also one behind me and I hear him whispering to me.
Wow.
And I admit I was super intrigued at this point. It's like, oh, he's speaking to you. He's talking to you. He's like, yeah. He's a little one though. He's a little one. There's a little,
like maybe another child or just
maybe another child. Yes, I'm not sure. I didn't ask her if it's another child. All she says is that he was little, and the other one was big, and she kept staring at him. At him. Listen to me. She kept staring at the door and saying, yep. Again, and she repeated it. She's like, he's not doing it. He's just watching us. He's just watching us. And again, I don't know what to ask at this point. I really don't. We just kind of still try to redirect her, get her focused. And earlier before that, Mike, before we left the classroom, I just thought it was kind of cute because she pointed to see this necklace right here I have. It's a very nice crucifix that I have. It's a very nice blue, like marble kind of, And when right before we left the classroom, she goes, I love that. She goes, I'm friends with Jesus. I like Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. And just some of the things that come out of these kids, their mouths and their minds, it just blows me away. So that's a short encapsulated version of nothing extraordinary happened by any means. I didn't see anything. I didn't get the heebie-jeebies. I was certainly intrigued. And I'm like, what's going on with this little girl? I just wish I could properly, adequately describe like the look on her face.
Yeah.
Her eyes are just like this. There's nothing. She's totally fascinated, intrigued, like enamored with what she's looking at. But at the same time, it's like, well, this is nothing new. I see this type of stuff all the time. That was like my vibe. She's like, yeah. She's just kind of like, one right there. So I don't know. I thought that was, intriguing to say the least. And I thought it was a good banter, good podcast fodder to get us going on this topic at hand.
Absolutely. I think it's fascinating. Very open-minded. I mean, if she's actually seeing something and, so you're saying that these are like, I don't know, they're like a special needs student.
This one that I was working with was yes. She had. I don't want to say anything on.
I know.
On air, obviously.
I don't understand. Yeah.
No, it's very, very intelligent.
Yes.
It's more of an emotion. Yeah. It's more of an emotional impairment. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Which again, without getting too deep into the weeds on that, that could very possibly have something to do with potentially having a better sensitivity to such things.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the other side of the veil, so to speak. I just want to see. I'm trying to find the text that I sent you. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. She also said that she's told me that there were ghosts. Some of us said that some were around us at that very moment. That the ghosts were like all around us.
Mm-hmm.
And she mentioned Blue said she had magical powers. I'm reading this again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Started by saying there are ghosts in the school. Asked a few questions, but I didn't want to push it. Said there was a tall one standing by the door at the end of the hall, and another small ghost behind the wall whose voice said she could hear whispering. So yeah. I should have asked, what is it saying? But time's short at school and we got to get going. They have to do their work. Okay.
Right.
Can't sit there and talk to them about, can't bring it to my boss and say, so why is she failing? Well, we talk about ghosts all the time. That's why.
Yeah. And you take your responsibility serious about teaching, and helping these kids. But at the same time, your fascination and love for the paranormal is just burning through your brain at this point.
So, needless to say, I'm assuming you're on the same boat as I am, Mike, that kids are just more apt to be able to experience such things because, as we kind of touched on, they haven't been bogged down by the reality of the world.
Yeah.
And they haven't been influenced in any such way. They're just purely themselves.
Right.
And open.
Until they're either talked out of it or chastised out of it or medicated out of it,
Oh, no kidding.
all of that. Yeah.
For sure. And so, I mean, this conversation can go any number of ways tonight. My friend, we shall see how it goes, right?
Absolutely.
I do have some reference material that we can go by. Hopefully you can spark a conversation or two. A couple of examples of, still struggling on that title. Don't want to say Haunted Children again because that's been overused. And I think we had an episode titled that as well.
Yeah.
This first one I'm pulling up, this is from Haunted and Waiting. It's a blog. Haunted and Waiting blog. And it's why children see ghosts and adults don't. Children often report seeing ghosts, spirits, or unexplained figures. Images that adults typically dismiss as pure imagination. Oh yeah, we've all done that.
Mm-hmm.
I've had personal experiences with that with my own kids. But, Mike, what if it's not the imagination? What children are attuned to something real, something we as adults have been told to block out? That is the question. Real signs that kids might be experiencing the paranormal. Children often exhibit unusual behaviors that hint at a paranormal presence. So just as an example, have you ever heard a story about children talking about unseen people or imaginary friends, Mike? Hell, you had an imaginary friend. We've done episodes on imaginary friends.
Yeah.
Let's start with that conversation. We will keep it fairly short because we've talked about it a few times before. But the reality of that possibility, your thoughts, my co-host with the ghosts. We all have known people. It's not an uncommon thing. Imaginary friend. Is it truly imaginary, or are they talking to something from the other side?
Well, I think they're both very plausible. I mean, kids have an imagination. I mean, we all have imaginations, but when you're a child, your imagination is like still open, like a child's is. But like when I was that young age, and this was maybe first, second grade, and I had that imaginary friend, name was Tom, and to this day I can picture what he looked like, and he was older than me, but I remember sitting in my room. Actually, it was my sister's room because I was listening to her little record player, and to this day, I can see this kid sitting with me doing that. And he had like sandy colored hair, lighter than or darker than mine. Mine was very light at that time. But to me, he was real. But then, like I've said before, it's like that started to fade. And I remember my mom and dad asking, well, whatever happened to Tom? His name Tom. And I had said that he died. And then it's like I never brought it up again. So very odd, very strange. But to me at that time, it was very real. But at this point in my life, was it an imaginary friend? I don't, or was it a spirit? I can't.
And what made you say he died? That's intriguing.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I mean, it's just something that you intrinsically knew as a kid, or it's a really intriguing part of that.
Yeah.
That experience of yours.
Yeah. And that was the answer I gave. And it wasn't like something I had to think about either. Cause I remember it so clearly, that being that little kid sitting at the dining room table, and I was asked, and that was my answer. But
I think I remember when we talked about this a prior episode a while ago. I threw out the crazy notion. I was like, Mike, what's the potential of that? Were you talking to a future version of yourself?
That's right.
You remember when I threw that out there? I don't know why. I think it's because you just said. I don't know why. I think it's because the way you described the hair. I am not even certain, but
maybe
it's an intriguing thought.
Yeah,
for sure. We've heard those crazy cool stories before. People being visited or having visions of either their younger self or their future self, and then some are interacting with both. Oh my God, it just kind of blows your mind a bit.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a place, Mike, when you were a kid? Did you ever have a place that you like refused to go into, or something that you were just utterly afraid of, or something that you just had a strange vibe about that you recall? I'm putting you on the spot again, which I'm good at. I know that.
No, actually, during that time when I was that age, and the house that we lived in, very old house, very, very old house, the basement creeped me out. I mean, basements creep kids out anyway.
Oh, sure.
But like in an old house like that, and that time it was a very old house. It's like you'd open up the door. It was in the kitchen. You'd open up the door, and you'd see this dark stairwell going down.
Yep, going down into the depths.
And each stair, it had the step and everything, but between each step, it was just an open area.
Yeah.
So if there's anything under the stairs, it could grab out, and grab your ankles, and that freaked me out.
I had the exact same when we moved from the country home to town to the old house that my dad grew up in. That I lived in for many years. Going down to that basement, I mean, didn't matter how old I got. Every time I went down there, I had that exact same feeling because the exact same type of steps, or that's old creaky wood steps with no back to them.
Yeah.
You can see straight down, see the floor behind you. Creepy, dank, rock walled, just basement. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah, if because I did go down to the main part of the basement at times, because I remember playing with my Tonka trucks down there, which I wish I still had.
Yes.
The metal ones, But, and beyond that, there is another area that you'd go through this door that would take you back to where you could go behind the stairs, or go to the left and there's a washer and dryer. Go to the right, there's another small room. And going into that back part, I really did not like.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
So it makes you wonder. It's like, I mean, was perhaps, again, skeptics and anybody out there listening could be saying, well, that's just a normal creepy feeling that all kids get down in a creepy basement. It's just how it is.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, maybe there's something a little bit more to that. Maybe there was something that a sensitive kid like you noticed that perhaps others didn't. Maybe something was lurking down there. I asked that, though, because it's kind of a segue into another quick story. I had mentioned to you about the young boy. He's not young anymore. He's grown up. The young boy who came to believe that he was a survivor. Well, he actually died upon the Titanic when the Titanic sank, and he was reborn inside this new body. I believe the story goes he was 5 at the time when he had snuck into like his parents' room, and he caught like the last half of the movie of the Titanic, the half where the ship is sinking. It's like an hour and a half of the ship sinking.
The Leonardo DiCaprio version?
Yes, the Leo and Kate.
Yes.
The Leo and Kate version, where they say each other's names.
Like your friends
where Jack and Rose say each other's names every 5 seconds. Jack, what are we doing, Jack? Rose, I can't tell you what we're doing, Rose. Rose, don't do that, Rose. Come here, Rose. I'll help you, Rose. But Jack, what if we do this, Jack? Rose, I'm telling you why we can't do that, Rose. I mean, it's just like, it's like, who talks like that? No one does. Anyways.
I had just heard recently that he has actually never watched the movie, which is no big deal. I don't care.
Who's he? Oh, Leo? Oh.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe he saw a ghost on the set and refuses to watch it.
Yeah.
But this young kid, like I said, he's growing up now. He's caught the last half of the movie. And I know what people are going to say already. Well, he's 5 years old and he got traumatized from the movie. And so therefore he's obsessed with it and he's just making shit up.
He's quite impressionable,
But according to his parents, as soon as the next day, this kid started drawing unbelievably accurate depictions of the ship, like from the interior on up, deck to deck to deck, like stuff. There's like, how in the hell would a kid be able to do that? Especially one that young. just seeing the movie the night before, and all of a sudden he's an expert on the interior layout of the ship, all the way up to the open deck and so much and so on and so forth. I don't know about that. His mom said that over like a course of a month, he had drawn over 50 pictures.
Wow. And
he had come to take on the personality of someone who was, and I'm not quoting this by any means, as I'm going off the top of my head, what I read again earlier, refreshing my memory, come to take on the personality of someone with a deep regret and sorrow, and was saying such things like, I should have done more. There were faults in the ship. Shortcuts were made. Those people didn't have to die, and he came to believe that he was the ship designer himself, Thomas Andrews.
Yeah.
There was a brief quote from this young man when he was 20, I believe, 19 or 20. And he had kind of grown out of that by that time. But he says, yeah, I truly believe I had been, inhabited, so to speak, by the spirit of Thomas Andrews. Again, I get it's kind of tough to believe, especially if you're a skeptic, and I understand it. But what if that is really what's going on, and maybe that visual of the ship is what triggered,
it
triggered it all,
right? And it's like it awakened the spirit of this man.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Been there since this child's birth, and seeing all this, apparently fairly accurate, depiction.
Yeah.
And really, like I said, awoken that spirit or being or energy of that man. I don't see why not.
Yeah. I mean, it's, again, I understand why it would be hard to
absolutely. That's
truly grasp as the truth. But again, why? I mean, why not? I love the idea of it being a possibility. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, yeah.
But I mean, you said that maybe it would have awakened. Maybe that visual of the movie awakened the spirit. But then, like, even my mind goes to the place of like, well, why would Thomas Andrews' spirit? At that time, it was. Let's see if my math is correct. 85 years after the ship had sank, whatever, forgive me if I'm wrong on the math there. Why would his spirit have laid dormant, so to speak, until this child was there, and then he was the child was the vessel for Thomas Andrews to have truly expressed his grief, which was true, though, by the way. By all accounts, like the last visuals, the last sightings of Thomas Andrews were him throwing, chairs off the deck. He's doing all he can to try and, help people, resetting the clock. Maybe I think that might have been a dramatic addition by Mr. James Cameron, but
well, there has to be not that the whole story of the Titanic would need that, but
no, of course not,
but it's but it's a movie. Yeah.
I mean, do you have a thought on that though, as before we move on, as to why Thomas Andrews' spirit would have laid dormant, so to speak, until this kid was around?
Well, it had to be the right time. There had to be the right catalyst for the awakening.
Oh.
If it would have happened any younger, probably, if it did happen, it wouldn't have worked. The kid wouldn't have been able to articulate what and how he did, with how he talked about it or how he drew it. It was just the right time.
How about this for a thought? And again, it just popped into my little tiny dancer head.
Tiny dancer.
Yeah, it's Sammy Shagar and Tiny Dancer today, boys and girls, who are the hosts of your
Hold me close, Tiny Dancer.
Podcast. So
yes, I am Sammy Shagar today. Anyway,
let's just say that the spirit, for argument's sake, the spirit of Thomas Andrews didn't particularly have any effort in finding this vessel, this child. The spirit of Thomas Andrews, as is perhaps all of our spirits, is everywhere at all times, right?
Yes.
our spirits are omnipotent. And any number of people could have become that vessel for Thomas Andrews, but this particular kid, for whatever moment, as you kind of hinted at, was just at the right place, the right time, the right open mind for Thomas to finally enter and thus, express his sorrow and his grief and his regret. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Mike's staring at me blankly like, what the hell are you talking about?
No, I'm listening to you fascinated and intently.
Intently. Thank you for adding intently. You think like unbelievably memorable, terrifying nightmares from a kid that a kid has that still linger into their adulthood? Hey, hands raised high right here for some of those nightmares.
Oh yeah.
Any of those be a paranormal vessel of sort that, left their impact, left their mark on the kid's psyche that doesn't go away?
Just like as adults, we have these dreams, but as a child, when you're in those informative years where you're developing still, and something like that happens, such a huge, if it is paranormal, and there's this huge blast of energy that does this, it's going to leave an impact.
I like that phrase, blast of energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some reasons that children may be more likely to see ghosts, Mike. An underdeveloped prefrontal cortex.
Sure, why not?
Prefrontal cortex is used for logical thought. This is obviously underdeveloped in children. Therefore, children rely more on emotion and intuition rather than logic, making them more receptive to energies and entities that adults simply have tuned out. Because their brain hasn't physically developed the ability to block it out yet.
Yeah.
I kind of like that
back
idea.
in the 19th century, when children would report seeing these things, that's where the lobotomies would come in.
No kidding. Oh man, I think that's totally 2 episodes in a row. That's 2 episodes in a row, including our Patreon episode that Mike's brought up lobotomies. You got something on your mind? No pun intended.
No. I get headaches.
So you start thinking about lobotomies.
No.
Now, again, none of these suggestions are anything new to our very wise, intellectual, and informed listeners. It's nothing that we haven't really talked about before, but it's important to touch on these every time we bring it up. We've mentioned this so many times, Mike. A kid doesn't have
every single time.
Every single time. Kids just don't have really the ability to have a learned skeptic side to them, right?
No, I don't think you're born with a skeptic side. That has to.
I would hope not.
I think that has to be ingrained or taught or developed or over a period of time where you can have the decision to make.
Yeah.
Is it real? Is it fake? No, that's fake. This is fake. Everything's fake, depending on what level you want to go.
Yeah, it's like the Amazing Randy was born with a full beard.
And pure skepticism. Since
he's birth. He spit on the doctor's face. I spat on you.
He came out of the womb saying, bullshit.
Bullshit. I know. Put me back. R.I.P. to the Amazing Randy, by the way.
Bless his soul.
Bless his soul, yeah. No, but kids haven't been conditioned at all, Mike.
Exactly.
To start thinking in such quote unquote logical ways.
That's where I'm gonna believe these children more likely, because because what reason would they have to lie? What reason would they have to make this up? Yeah. Especially before they're at that point of expressing that imagination, even to a full extent.
Mm-hmm.
There's just too much there. There's too much information.
Too much there.
Yeah.
Thank you. I like that you pointed that out. It's like there's too much there for them to even adequately describe at that point.
Yeah. And they can be like in their mind going, well, what's going on? I don't understand this, but there's something there.
Yep.
I don't know.
And so therefore it's kind of like that student who just casually mentioned that, just because it's not groundbreaking to her. It's like, oh, by the way, they're here,
It's just a matter of fact.
That's a matter of fact, exactly. It's like, you don't see them? What the heck's wrong with you?
Yeah. I wonder if she should maybe have Bruce Willis, talking to her.
Oh, yeah. Well, the character. Yes, for sure. Theta brainwave dominance. Kids operate in theta brainwaves, which is, we kind of similarly talked about before, is linked to dreaming and intuition. And as many feel, also feeds into quote unquote psychic acceptance. As we grow older and mature, we move to a more alpha brainwave, which deal with quote logic and inference. So again, kind of that natural, unconditioned mind at that point, the theta brainwave. Sometimes I wish I was all about theta and not so alpha.
Yeah.
Too much damn logic.
Neither you or I are anything having.
Neither one of you. Who else is here? What?
Neither you or I are anything alpha, really.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm an alpha male. No. Different subject there altogether.
I'm preferably a part of the Omega Mu from the Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah. Lambda, and
that too.
Omega
Mu. Come here on stage tonight to do our show for you. There you go.
Break.
Oh, Lamar Luttrell is right here with us, everybody.
Anyway, love that movie.
Now, why do us as adults simply stop seeing spirits? As we age, we are conditioned to ignore the unseen. Of course we do. Again, it's like, oh gosh, why do we have to do this to ourselves? And sadly, we become more skeptical or even distasteful to anything that cannot be scientifically explained. It's not that most adults stop sensing ghosts, they simply stop noticing them. Ooh. Ooh. So that kind of, okay, for me as a personal example, when I kind of how many times have I done this, Mike? Where I have that initial reaction to something. And I'm like, oh, that's intriguing. I wonder what that is. And I lock it in my mind and I note it as something potentially paranormal. Sometimes when I get excited about it, you've seen me do that before as well.
I have. It scares me sometimes.
It kind of scares him. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Are you having a stroke?
I do jumping jacks and burpees and all sorts of
burpees.
I don't know. And jacks. I meant to say jacks, not jumping. Could be considered a slur earlier, but my God, I meant to say jacks. I'm not going to bother editing that out because it happens. But yeah, I mean, that initial reaction by me is like, yes, that is truly something. But then, of course, I'm like, well, nope, I can't accept that. I talk myself out of it, Mike. I quote unquote logically explain it to myself.
And
I ignore my senses.
Yes.
And I just refuse to even notice it.
It has pissed me off many times.
I know, and I'm sorry.
Not pissed me off. I can't say that. It's too much sometimes, but yeah.
No, I know.
But hey, I deal with it, and
there's too many examples. It's going to end. The final sentence of this article is intriguing because the author says, "I feel our sixth sense isn't lost. It's just that we socially cast it aside."
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a nice way of wrapping that up, I think, as far as what someone like me does. And I don't do it on purpose, Mike. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I believe in ghosts. I've been hosting a paranormal podcast for almost 12 years now, for God's. Well, it's been paranormal for at least a decade now. The first 2 years was Nonsensicast radio for a reason, right?
But, it was Nonsensicast everything in a drunken stupor.
Oh, and it was a blast. And by the way, all those episodes are available on our Patreon page. If you want to time travel, back to 2013, again, at the impetus, there's that word again, of the Paranormal Zone podcast. That's right. You can get the Nonsensecast radio episodes. Also, all of the Alternate Route podcast episodes, all of them are available in the archives on our Patreon page. We just released a Patreon episode last week. We finally returned to our true crime episodes, our Wicked Legacies sub-series.
And it was a damn good one, too.
Oh, my gosh. It was gross, but it was good.
Yeah.
We have over 100 exclusive Paranormally Zone paranormal podcasts, as well as our retro and random sub-series. Man, we got a crap ton of stuff over there. And it's something that we're passionate about. For sure.
That's
a crap ton. That's a lot.
You know how much a ton of crap weighs? It's a lot.
It smells worse than it looks, I tell you that. But no, the content is something that we are very proud of, and we're always adding new stuff, including, if you want to see Mike and I run around in haunted houses in our underwear, hey, you can find video. No, we're not in our underwear.
Not on camera, anyway.
Yes, I did suggest that we should become the first nude paranormal investigators, and maybe we can pitch that to Discovery Channel or something.
Boy, there'd be a lot of blurred out.
All of it would be blurred. So, I mean, who cares?
Yeah. Well, my body is just a blur anyway. So horrible.
Horrible. So any and all of our paranormal captures during our years of amateur investigating, believe it or not, we have some intriguing stuff on audio and video. It's kind of, well, no, not on video. Yes, we do. Oh my gosh, we filmed a flipping UFO at Standing Rock. What the hell am I talking about?
We certainly did.
I have never shared that.
About the MUFON?
I'm telling you right now, and I am going to dive back into this topic at hand. I got to get the cheap plug for the Patreon page out of the way. Again, if you support the podcast, or if you'd like to support the podcast, you enjoy the content, no better way to give our Patreon page a shot. You can sign up for as little as $1 a month, no obligations. And there's a bunch of free content on there as well, free episodes. So, check it out. Paranormally Zone Patreon page. Mike, I never posted our UFO video. Awesome flipping UFO video that we captured at Standing Rock. I haven't posted it anywhere. No one has ever seen it.
Except for you and I.
It's on the Patreon page is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And I still don't know if I want to share it to you to move on. I really don't. But I should.
Yes, you should.
Absolutely. Thank you for your emboldened and enthusiastic response.
And also the UFO reporting center run by Peter Gersten, if he's still alive. I don't know. Is another great place to post that. But I have the tiniest little fear that I just don't want them to say, yeah, it's just this, it's nothing. But you and I we've gone over this 1,000 times. It is something. It's not just something that isn't extraordinary. It's pretty cool. Well, Patrick, just follow your heart.
Follow my heart.
Feel is right.
Okay.
You must do what you feel is right.
So that has to be an 80s title of a song, Follow Your Heart by somebody. Has to be.
Billy Idol, I think, did that.
Billy Idol? Okay.
No, I have no idea. Air Supply, probably Air Supply.
Probably Air Supply, yeah. There you go. They were originally called they were originally called Supply of Air, but it didn't really roll off the tongue very well.
Then they tried Oxygen Tank at one time, and that really didn't last.
Yeah, long. And then they tried Snorkel. No, it didn't work.
Snorkel. And then they tried Cannula.
Nothing quite rolled off the tongue like Air Supply.
Yeah,
Mike, why are children able to see spirits more easily than adults? Experts in spirituality believe that children are more susceptible to seeing ghosts and spirits because they do not have the same belief systems that we have as adults. Reports of children having encounters with ghosts dates as far back as 1716. Psychologists believe in more logical explanations, of course, for children claiming to see ghosts, stating that young children don't have the ability to tell the difference between fantasy and reality. So, according to that, do you think that second grader I was talking to yesterday doesn't have the ability to ascertain between her fantasies and what she is actually seeing?
Wow. Well, you can kind of try to figure that out by observing, not taking away from the lessons or anything, but how does she react to reality that you're seeing? I mean, is she, is it, can you tell the difference between how she reacts to reality and how she reacts when she's saying she's seeing these things, or does it kind of blur together where, what people would think of her as fantasy, it's, there's no delineation, or she cannot ascertain. I'm sorry, I have to add
we've done that. Yeah, our two favorite kids in the hall words we've shared now: delineate and ascertain.
And I've been trying to not use the word ascertain when you say delineate, but I cannot help it. But I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's you need to.
It's like it's a struggle. I can tell to utter the correct words every now and then. I get it. I get it.
But you have to decide how far can you go with this child. I mean, there's a boundary that you have to,
for sure, yes.
It's not,
especially when it's in a delicate situation.
Exactly. You have to think of this child and the family and the parents or whatever.
For sure.
But it would be really interesting to see, if you ever knew these parents, if you could get a story from them.
That's a huge part of it. That's a huge part of it, because that's another thing where it's just like, right, I don't want to be confronted by an angry parent saying, "Why are you talking about this garbage with my daughter?"
Yeah, here comes this Lyle Zato type guy.
Oh, for God's sake!
With a tight T-shirt.
Lyle El Zato. Wow,
I don't know why that came to my mind.
He's been dead for like 3 decades and played in the 1970s. But hey, that's okay. R.I.P. Lyle El Zato. He was a badass on the football field for sure. Yeah. And kind of a loony too on the football field. Yeah. But I'm saying that with all due respect. He was intense. Doctors, scientists, and psychologists have all tried to find a logical explanation for why children claim to see ghosts. But as they get older, the strange occurrences tend to go away on their own. One of the most well-known experts to take on the theories was a Swiss psychologist named Jean Piaget.
He must be Polish.
He's a little. Must be Polish.
Not saying anything bad about our Polish friends or our French friends.
Okay, Piaget. Did I butcher that? Piaget, maybe.
Piaget. Yeah.
A renowned psychologist and pioneer of the development of child psychology. His work focused on helping children differentiate facts from fantasy. He came up with the theory of human cognitive development, also known as genetic epistemology. His theory suggests
that word again.
Yeah, that's close. That's close. His theory suggests
that almost sounds like penile amputation.
That too. Okay.
Anyway, sorry.
Can I go on with his theories now? Or are you going to think of something else to give me the heebie-jeebies?
I will stop.
His theory suggested that young children didn't have the ability to tell the difference between fantasy and reality. He believed that was why they were susceptible to, quote, seeing ghosts. Many developmental psychologists agree with this, of course. That during what is known as the pre-operational stage, children can confuse perceptions with reality, which would explain why they tend to have encounters with spirits. In other words, they believe that ghosts that children claim to see are just a figment of their vivid imagination. Well, we beg to differ. I mean, yeah. How many of those cases can truly be explained in that matter? Of course. Most of them. A high percentage of them, of course.
Sure.
Now, why are children able to see spirits more often than adults? Now, when you're looking for a rational answer to that based on scientific facts, you'll be inundated. There's another word. Inundated with theories and complicated reports that, quite frankly, are difficult to comprehend. But if you look at it from a spiritual point of view, Mike, maybe the answer is actually quite simple. Young children do not have the same belief systems that we have as adults. They haven't been taught that ghosts don't exist. So those limitations aren't there for them yet.
Well, they're at a point where they see, they believe what they see. I mean, it's like, it's an actual thing. They believe what they see. They see something,
Yeah.
It's a fact to them. They don't, yeah, like you're saying, they just don't know the difference yet of, well, that's something that I shouldn't be seeing, but I am seeing it, so it is there.
Well, how many of our perceptions, how many of our senses can be absolutely limited, and the power of our senses be dampened and lessened by every other aspect of our mind, of our logic, of our thinking. At that, when you're a kid, again, we risk repeating ourselves here.
Oh, we never do that.
But they're just innocuous. There's a word for you. They're innocent, they're harmless. Their mind is so opened. It hasn't been conditioned, as we mentioned, and so therefore the perception, they're seeing something that's there, whereas an adult who's had stuff just bashed into his or her brain throughout their coming of age and into their adulthood and beyond, that they can no longer have that ability to see that. It's there. That ghost is there. But your brain doesn't allow you to see it anymore.
Yeah, and as we age or get older and mature, that's when our brains start getting filled with bills, stress, the job, being able
politics,
all of that stuff.
Yep.
The more of that crap that gets into your head that you can't. There's not enough room for everything. It's like
you can't escape it.
The stuff, the childhood stuff, unless you keep it a huge part of your life and an importance to it, it's going to get pushed out. I've been lucky enough to hang on to that, and I will never let that waver. That I question, what I see or what I have experienced or what I will still throughout the rest of my life experience until the day I die.
Yep. I'm very jealous. I know jealous is not a good thing. Jealousy is not a good thing, but
you're still young. Besides,
my ass, I'm getting up there. Well,
you we just need to work on that Villisca trip. I'm telling you.
No, it's happening. It's happening. A few brief stories here. A few brief examples, Mike, that parents have shared. In fact, it says right here, parents share stories of their children's ghost sightings. These are intriguing. The ghost in the pajamas. While looking for a new home to purchase, one mom took her 2-year-old daughter along to check out a condo. As soon as they walked inside the flat that dated back to 1911, they were immediately sold. Later that evening, the mom asked her daughter what she thought about the condo. The little girl said she liked it, adding that the little boy who lives there was really nice too. The mom tried to best stay calm as she asked her daughter what she meant by that. The little girl explained that there was a boy wearing pajamas in the dining room. She told her mom that he waved at her and he was around her age. She said he only stayed in the dining room. He told her his name and said he was afraid of water. Later that night, the mom looked up ways to clear spirits from home. She asked her daughter about the ghost boy the next morning, and the daughter said that she couldn't remember what she was talking about. Just the next day, totally forgot about the ghost boy in the pajamas. Which reminded me, going quick full circle back to that boy who claimed that who believed he was reincarnated as Thomas Andrews on the Titanic. Important part that I forgot to mention was that his mother also said, just out of nowhere, right before all of this started happening, her boy developed an unbelievable terror of water.
Sure.
And he had never had that before. And I totally whiffed on that one. That's why I kind of asked you about, if you had any fears of going into certain places, because I was trying to get into that part of the story. But yeah, I mean, that's intriguing. Just out of nowhere, he developed just this petrifying terror. She couldn't even get him close, taking a bath type stuff,
Yeah.
Absolutely terrified of water. And then the visions. So I don't know.
Well, that could be saying something.
Moving into JoJo's home. This is another brief story. One family purchased an old historic home that was over a century old. At the time, their oldest child was a little over 2 years old, so another 2-year-old. They visited the home before moving day, and their 2-year-old was running around the room house exploring each room. As the sun went down, Mike, the mother told the little girl it was time for them to leave, and they would come back the next day to move in. Her daughter said she didn't want to leave because she was talking to someone named Jojo. The mom asked who Jojo was, and her daughter replied,
Jojo was a man who thought he was a woman, but he was... Oh, I just really totally went off on a tangent there.
We're going to start charging people to listen to this with your dulcet tones and your imitations.
My dulcet off-tune notes of song and levity.
Mike Carbno sings songs of love and levity. Yes, the new Christmas album. Love, humor. Yes, I love it. That's great. I can see your face on a Christmas album right now. With a cartoon face with a microphone, with your little stock, your Christmas cap.
Yeah, wearing a pair of lederhosen.
Christmas with Carbno. Carbno's Christmas.
Anyway,
sorry. The mom asked who Jojo was, and her daughter replied, "My new friend. He's standing right behind you." The family then hurried out of the house quickly, but their daughter continued to talk about Jojo every time they returned to the home as they were moving their belongings. It continued for a while after they moved in, but eventually she stopped mentioning him, and they haven't experienced any haunting occurrences since then.
So they don't need to crop dust solids on the way
apparently,
out the door.
No, apparently they don't. And they didn't need to bring in a medium, or they need to cleanse the house. Apparently the ghost just kind of left, or was okay with them there. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I think a spirit can do that. It's like it can accept the living, or if there's something about the living that is there that it does not want, that doesn't match their energy, and that could be where the hauntings get a little crazy.
Yeah, for sure. One of the questions that this article throws out, it says, "Are ghosts, spirits, and entities the same thing?" Without even reading, Mike, what is your thought on ghosts, spirits, and entities, and are they the same thing? I'm asking you.
I think those three,
no pressure,
definitions would be basically the same thing. I mean, you can even add energy onto that.
Energies, yeah, for sure.
Discorporated beings.
But would you not consider like an entity? Like, let's say you saw like what's a shapeshifter or a skinwalker.
Sure.
Would you refer to them as an entity, like more of like a spiritual cryptid? Ghostly cryptid, or would that not fall into the entity category? Or when I think entity, I think of something more physical in nature for some reason.
Entitistically sound.
Sure. Not necessarily that the entity itself is physical in nature, but like its interactions with others is also physical, kind of like a poltergeist type thing, maybe.
Like a different level of
ghost,
because like the skinwalkers, there's a definite physical attribute to that as well.
100%.
So not that I'm knowledgeable on that, which I would love to be, but yeah.
Very briefly, we'll finish the show with the story, Mike, of the case, I should say, of the Watsika Wonder. I had mentioned this to you before.
This sounds fascinating.
The mysterious possession of the Watsika Wonder. And I am referencing ghostadventures.com, usghostadventures.com. It's not the Ghost Adventures we're all thinking about. This is like another paranormal site altogether, loaded with a bunch of haunted stories and blogs and all such things. So, and it is on the Wikipedia as well. This is a documented case. Whether or not you believe it, that's up to you.
Well, Wikipedia is always believable.
Of course it is. We could go add something to Wikipedia right now. That's
Yes.
how believable it is.
Make crap up along the way.
Yep. I should start our own Paranormal Zone Wikipedia page, Mike.
Oh.
And I could sell the shit out of it.
I could have fun with that.
Yes. Right. Just constantly you see edited 1 minute ago. Edited 1 minute ago. Mike's just constantly adding stuff. We'll have different segments like most repetitive phrases. Click. Most redundant point of views. Click. Okay, sorry. Imagine that it's 1877 and you have a teenage daughter. And for the last few months, she has been having episodes where she goes in and out of a trance for hours on end. In a last-ditch effort to help her, you hire a doctor to guide her through one of these trances. But when she wakes up, she's entirely different. She holds herself differently. She uses a more advanced vocabulary and doesn't seem to even recognize you. She is, by all accounts, a different person. Now, this might read like fiction, but this was the actual nightmare that the Venom family lived through. Vennum. Venom.
Great
That's
movies.
Awesome name. Venom.
Yeah.
Their daughter was quickly dubbed the Watsika Wonder, and her experience has mystified folks for over a century. Now, possessions like the Watsika Wonder are rare, but they are not impossible. Exorcisms are quietly performed throughout the country every year. Some even making headlines for their extraordinary circumstances. Now, who was the Watsika Wonder, you may ask? Well, we'll tell you. Before she was known as the Watsika Wonder, Lurancy Venom. What a name. Lurancy.
I have a Venom Pez dispenser.
Probably not the same spelling or connotation, but okay.
Probably not. Anyway.
But what a cool first name. Lurancy. Lurancy Venom.
Ooh, it sounds like an evil character.
It kind of does, yeah. She was just a normal teen in Watsika, Illinois. Her new identity started with the onset of her strange episodes, where she started to see things and people. Her full transition into the Watsika Wonder came after a seance. While her body looked the same, Lurancy was no longer occupying it. Instead, a different soul had taken residence inside Lurancy's skin, the soul of one Mary Roth, a woman who had died 12 years before. In the 1870s, Watsika, Illinois was a rural farming community with just a few thousand people. And by all accounts, the Venom family lived an ordinary life. But in 1877, as mentioned before, their 13-year-old daughter, Lurancy, began exhibiting strange behaviors. She had trouble sleeping at night. She told her mother that she kept hearing someone say her name throughout the night. And endless calling kept her awake.
That was What's just that, GERD.
Very advanced.
Sorry. This is sounding to me like Barnum and Bailey presents the Watsika
Wonder. Thank you. No, Step right up, the Watsika Wonder.
Only for one thin dime. Step right up behind the tent. Anyway.
It's just a girl sitting there. Say, hey, I'm the Watsika Wonder.
Anyway. I'm fascinated.
We're not. We can't be mocking her because she honestly had medical episodes. She had medical episodes.
I feel for this person.
And her GERD.
And her extreme case of GERD.
Well, we have GERD on audio. Would you like to hear an example of of Mike's GERD? I mean, it's pretty cool stuff.
Yep. Boy, and I felt that from one end to the other. Just lightning right through. Foof.
I swear to God, it's not GERD, though. It was you just, I don't know what you were doing.
I have no.
But this voice calling her name throughout the night obviously kept her awake. She began to enter deep trances during her waking hours. A comatose state could last hours. And when she would come to, she described being surrounded by spirits, floating through the air. These episodes began happening more frequently, and word got around town about the Venom Girl's ailment. After an examination, no medical reason was found to be behind her trances. People were convinced that she had something wrong with her brain, of course. You can imagine all the diagnosis that she probably got back then in 1877.
And the tests that they must have done on her.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's remove a couple of ribs.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Boil them up, force feed them to her, and see how she reacts. Oh, the locals began to push Loranci's parents to send her to a home for the insane.
Mm-hmm.
As her parents debated the difficult decision, a man showed up at their door who would change everything. Asa Ruff, he was no stranger to tragedy because, Mike, 12 years earlier, he had lost his daughter, the aforementioned Mary Ruff, when she was a young woman. Mary had been sickly since she was a baby. She would have, quote-unquote, fits that doctors couldn't explain. As she got older, these episodes turned into trances, very similar to the ones that young Loranci was experiencing. In the trance, Mary would claim to communicate with those from the other side. Now, again, very similar. What do we want to call that? Ailments. What's the word I'm drawing a blank on, Mike? Symptoms. There we go. Very similar symptoms. They're both claiming to be surrounded by spirits. This one claiming to communicate with them. What type of trance would this have been? Well, I'm sure there's a dozen and a half theories, of course. We're all aware of that. Asa didn't know what to do with a daughter who claimed to have clairvoyant abilities, so he listened to the advice of her doctors and sent her to an insane asylum. In the mid-1800s, little was known about how to properly treat mental health. Because of this, asylum patients were often treated like lab rats, being put through painful experiments in the hopes that it would actually cure the patient.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, Mary...
Trepanning. Or however.
Unfortunately, Mary did not do well in the asylum. She died in 1865. Her father was racked with guilt about his daughter and began to look deeper into the spiritual world she said that she could contact. He became a strong believer in spiritualism and came to believe that Mary was not insane at all, but instead had the gift of being a medium. So in 1877, when Asa heard about a young woman going through a similar ordeal, Miss Loranci Venom, he couldn't stand by. He couldn't save his daughter, but maybe he could save Loranci. After talking to Loranci's parents, Asa recommended bringing in the help of a specialist who dealt with spiritual matters. Henceforth, we are segueing into the investigation by Dr. E. Winchester Stevens. Dr. E. Winchester Stevens.
He must have been English.
Yes, maybe that's what the E stands for. Dr. English Winchester Stevens. He was a well-known spiritualist physician in the 1870s. A medium himself, Dr. Stevens helped patients who had not yet controlled their power. I'm sure he was well looked upon by his fellow doctors.
Oh, I'm sure. Charlatan.
Yeah, 100%. Even to this day, brilliant people like Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum were basically shunned by his fellow professors. You know, he talked about it on our interview with him.
Even with his, his scientific approach to it was just so.
Yep.
Yeah.
His backing of the evidence, his description of the evidence. Yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
The Venoms hired Dr. Stevens to sit down with Loranci. When he did, he helped guide Loranci into a trance. However, this was no ordinary trance. When Loranci woke up, something was very different. Loranci announced to the room that she was now, in fact, Mary Ruff. Mary claimed that she would be looking over Loranci's body while Loranci's soul healed. At first, no one quite knew what to believe. However, within minutes, it became clear that a transformation had taken place. Loranci seemed completely unlike herself. Her mannerisms and speech patterns had all changed.
She peed standing up.
She peed standing up.
Sorry. That's a bad joke. I apologize for that.
Well, wouldn't she have been like a Bill Roth then or something? Not a Mary Roth. I mean, come on.
Hey, I just put it out there how it is.
I calls it as I sees it. That's what Mike says.
I just incessantly blabber meaningless fodder.
Hey, that's your role here, right, Mike? No, I'm kidding.
Hey, you pay me well for this, damn it.
Yeah, right.
We both get paid extremely well.
Oh my gosh, rolling in dough. I got a money bin out there right now. I take a dive in every night.
He's painted it green.
I have.
Yes.
Now she moved toward Asa and his wife, recognizing them as her parents. When she saw the Venoms, she didn't seem to have any memory of who they were. Loranci began to speak about things to the Roths that only his daughter Mary would have known, like family secrets that had never been shared. Unsure what to do, the Venoms and Roths decided that it would be best for Loranci to go home with the Roths.
Wow.
As she seemed more comfortable around them. That evening, she went home to live with the Roth family. A months-long possession ensued, Mike. Just a few seconds left here in the story. While the Venoms likely hoped that Loranci would wake up and be back to normal, this did not happen. Loranci continued to live with Mary's identity, and every day more people were convinced that this truly was Mary Roth's spirit residing in Loranci Venom's body. Loranci would recognize people on the street that Mary knew. She could identify objects that used to belong to the deceased woman. She talked like Mary, thought like Mary, and never once broke the act. For the Roths, it felt like their daughter really had returned home. How long did this possession last, you may ask? A few days, a few weeks? Loranci identified as Mary Roth for over 5 months, living with the Roth family the entire time. But then, Mike, one day on May 7th, Loranci announced that Mary would be leaving her body on May 22nd at 11 o'clock. The Venom family...
Specific.
Yeah, that's interesting. The Venom family anxiously awaited the day, desperately hoping they'd get their daughter back. When May 22nd came, Loranci awoke as Mary and went to sleep as Loranci. Just as she had prophesied, her soul returned to her body. Loranci regained all memories of her family and returned to her normal personality. After this possession, Loranci was never burdened with trances, and by all accounts, she went on to live a normal life, never being admitted to an asylum.
Wow.
The Watsika wonder.
So I wonder what happened to...
I wonder.
Yeah, the original soul of this girl when the Roth soul took over the body.
When she said, I'm taking over the body as the soul of Loranci heals.
Exactly.
So
wow.
How do we interpret that? That's interesting. Does the soul... Is there a soul hospital?
Yeah.
What's your vibe on that one, Mike? What thought do you have on where a soul would go as it heals?
As it heals. And what was healing?
Just her aching soul. I mean, her soul, from what I took, her soul was perhaps tainted in a way, maybe, and that's what was causing her episodes, her trances.
Right. Some more background story would be needed, would be very helpful, but yeah, it just brings up a lot of questions. I mean, is there the possibility of the soul being in her body tandemly with the original soul, helping it heal? Or
I like that.
Or did that soul go somewhere to heal? Like
Well, we've talked about wandering spirits, Mike. We've talked about those who come and replace the inhabit a physical body in order for that other soul to go on and basically, replenish itself, or however you want to describe it, or help people through tough times.
Exactly.
I think you even thought that you might have experienced that.
That we have talked. I was just going to mention that we had talked about that before, and I still don't know what to totally make of that, but the walk-in spirit.
The
walk-in
walk-ins,
soul.
yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
The walk-ins.
And that it is a fascinating thing if you want to Google or whatever walk-ins like that. It is fascinating.
And you wonder if maybe Mary Roth's the spirit that originally inhabited this poor sickly girl who eventually died in a sane asylum, was that perhaps maybe a walk-in that was helping her transition. And then when she passed away, she went over to this other young girl, Larancy, who was in need of help as well. It's just a possibility, maybe. I mean, I have no clue.
Maybe there are souls that are assigned as a type of thing that they do, a duty or a service. That's
their job.
Their job, yeah.
Wouldn't that suck if when you pass on to the different world, you still need to work, still need to be employed?
Yeah, well,
it's like, come on. So it's like, dude,
it would have to be something that you enjoy so much that you wouldn't feel like it's a job.
There you go. There you go. There you go. And and you know what, Mike, to wrap it up and to kind of put a little bow on it, going back to the first story that I shared. This is the first job I've had where it's the closest to, I don't feel like I am working. Yeah. It's something that is just, I think I finally found the sweet spot.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to do that before I had to quit. And I just
had to throw the sour, bitter tone on the end of it.
Oh no, there's no sour. It was 12 years of just fantastic. And I always miss it, but hey, I'm lucky and thankful that I had that 12 years.
And how much of a learning experience was that for you?
Oh man, extremely. I'm still figuring things out. Seriously. 100%. But it's great. It's worth it.
Mike's GERD, what do you think?
Yo.
Mike, this is going to be over an hour and a half, so I better let you go tonight, my friend. Yeah, time flies. I know. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
Dang it. All right. Well, thank you for making this work, Mike. Keep your phone on you because I'll be sending you some texts. I'll let you know when the episode is up. Do you feel like you'd be able to create a cool AI image for this episode?
Absolutely. I will.
All right. Do you think
I got
you
a couple of things floating around? Yes, I will do it right away as soon as we are done.
Okay.
And
awesome.
Yes,
I appreciate it. So we shall. Oh, sorry.
That frightened. I felt my whole soul shake there for a second.
Yeah, that was Christopher Walken just walked into you. Walken.
Yeah.
So
Christopher Walken is a walk-in.
I know. I don't do things willy-nilly on this show. I'm telling you.
You pre-plan these months ahead of time.
Right. All right. This bad joke, I'm going to lay it on top of Mike. Right. Okay. Anyways, thanks for making this work, buddy. I appreciate it. I will get this up and running shortly, and I'll be in touch
to the world.
We shall shout it to the listening world. Yes, indeed. Mike, until then, what do our awesome paranormal pals, a lot of popping my peas right there, what do they have to do?
Pop the peas and peace out.